Oh, thanks, Ron. Thanks, Ron. Sorry, I had a previous meeting just over. So look, I'm Mike. I'm chair of the hospital. So it's really great to see Francisco, Sophia, and D2, and for us all to mutually celebrate and co-celebrate everybody's successes. So it's really great. August, is everyone you're expecting here? We're all here. Okay, all right. So we can. So this is a really important part of what we do as Addenbrooke's, because I hope and believe that, we all know that we've got fabulous colleagues. We see fantastic work done day in, day out in the hospital by so many people. And we know that that's the basis of our reputation as a wonderful hospital, providing really important care and services to our communities. That is not possible without what you do. And so that's why the You Made a Difference Award is so important, because it's more than, it's the whole hospital saying to you, Francisco and Sophia, and to D2, really well done. Really thank you. We really appreciate it. What you've done is exemplary. What you do is exemplary. And this is our way of just saying that as a whole hospital. So it's not just your immediate local colleagues or an immediate patient or their family. This is the whole hospital saying, you know what, this is really good. Thank you. And so this is a really important ceremony and important award. We've been doing You Made a Difference, I think, for about 11 years or so, or thereabouts. It's been a long time. And it's still as sought after, it's still as popular as ever. And just to get nominated for it, I think, is a huge achievement. And to win it is even more huge. And just to give you kind of a sense of that, despite the fact that we've been running it for 11 or 12 years, there are still many nominations of many different people put in every month. So just for Sophia and from Francisco, shall I give you the number of different people who were nominated for an award this month? So I hope this will give you a sense of crikey, and I won it, so that add that sense of pride to it. 72 different people were nominated for an award this month. And you, Sophia and Francisco, are the two award winners out of 72 people. So I hope that just gives you a sense of pride in what you've achieved, and I hope a sense of real recognition by us all for some fabulous work. And not to forget D2, we do individual awards every month, and we do 2 individual awards, and we'll come on into that in a second. But we do team awards every quarter. And the same thing applies. We all know that it's not just individuals who make this hospital work. It's not just individuals working on their own. It's whole teams. And so that's why we have the team award, because we wanted to reflect the fact that it's a team that makes a difference in many cases. I'm sure Francisco and Sophia would say that of themselves in the team that they work with. So we wanted also to recognise teamwork. And again, there were 24 different teams nominated for this quarter. So again, I hope D2, fabulous work you do in that ward, will have a sense of, okay, and there were many other team nominations also put forward. So that I hope that adds a sense of celebration, acknowledgement and pride in the fabulous work you do as a team. I'm going to hand over to Roland. I do the kind of general stuff explaining the scheme and the You Made a Difference, which I've just done. Roland now goes on to the stuff where he's talking particularly about why you, both Sophia and Francisco, and then also D2 as a team. So Roland, I'm going to pass over to you. But just before I do, can I also just say how pleased I am personally, Francisco, in the fact that Medirest have come forward with this, because for me, we often talk about rightly talk about nurses and doctors or other healthcare professionals, and of course we should do, absolutely right. But I think all of us who operate and work within a hospital know that this is a whole hospital that makes this work. And the contribution of colleagues in MediRest is really, really central to that. None of us could do any of what we do without the support and colleagues in all those services that don't necessarily always get the attention they deserve. So I'm really, really pleased that we are able to reflect that in today. So without further ado, I'm just going to pass over to Roland. Roland.
Lovely, Mike. Thank you so much. And I'm going to talk about Francisco first, then Sophia, and then we'll come toward D2. So Francisco, is it Francesco or Francisco? How should I pronounce your name? And do feel free to come off mute.
It's Francisco.
Francisco, lovely. So, yes. So all colleagues, Francisco is clearly one of those people, those extraordinary people who really makes the world go round and makes things happen, and works extraordinarily hard with incredible devotion and makes things happen around him. And Francisco, I'm going to say a few things about you from Joe, you're one of the MediRest managers, and then I'm going to read out the nomination that led to you winning this award. So, Francisco, you started your role with us here at Addenbrooke's and the Rosie at CUH through the agency, didn't you? In February 2021, so February this year, in the height of the second wave of the pandemic. So you came and joined us at, I think, probably one of the toughest times. And you then transferred to us as a full-time position as a domestic cleaner on the 4th of May of this year. And you're incredibly committed to your job. You've got a real focus and attention on detail. You can be relied on. And whatever the additional task is, we're told that you complete it on time and do it really well. But beyond that, Francisco, you're a great team player. You take the initiative, and you're enormously well liked and respected by your clinical team and all of your colleagues. And that, Francisco, led to the nomination that I'll read out now that was for you. So Francisco has recently joined our team. He's constantly going above and beyond the call of duty. He's very helpful. He constantly offers his help to us as a team, and he takes it upon himself to help us clear the bed spaces and remake those beds so that they're ready for the next patient. This really is additional work that's not within his normal role and makes so much difference to us as a nursing team when we're really rushed off our feet. He really is a credit to our team. He's part of our team. He goes above and beyond his cleaning role to ensure the families and children are comfortable during their stay in the emergency department. He provides blankets and pillows when we're busy. He's really warm and polite to everyone he meets. What a star. So, Francisco, many, many congratulations. And if everyone could just come off mute and give a round of applause to Francisco, that would be lovely.
It's a pleasure for me too. For me, it's a pleasure to meet with this team. I do my best. Yes. My principle working here is the first thing for me is to do it to myself. And I think the thing that I do it with my job, it doesn't matter is with MediRest or the other job that I have in the past. The thing is I have to do the things the best so I feel better. When I feel better, I know that I do the best. And we work with the team, and the team is one way you can find a good reasons to have a good solution. This is why I do it. This is not a favor. This is my personality. The things I can help, I help. It's my education. This education that I have from my father, my grandfather. You have to, when you do something, you have to do the best. And when you do the best, you be clear for yourself. Then you do it as well. That's this point. And I'm so happy to meet the company, the MediRest, all the team. And thank you for all the hospital, all the nurses, all the directors, everything here. I'm so glad to meet. It's a pleasure for me to have this word. Thank you so much.
Well, Francisco, it's lovely to meet you as well. And I think there are some real lessons for life there, aren't there, from you to all of us? And we should all take a little bit of you into the rest of our working week and into our jobs and into our lives. So you're saying to us, work in teams, work with other people. You're saying that we should give our best.
Yeah.
And you're saying also we should sort of take those things through life, shouldn't we? Hearing you talk about your grandparents and your parents and what they've taught you is another thing for us all to take forward, I think. So Francisco, we're going to hang on to that as we think about what we're doing in our own lives and jobs. So thank you for that. And I'm absolutely delighted, Francisco. You'll be receiving a certificate, a sort of posterette. You'll also be receiving the You Made a Difference badge and some gift vouchers that I really hope you'll use to get yourself or your family or friends something really lovely to celebrate this moment. But we're really lucky to have you here at CUH. Thank you and thank you and well done. So another big round of applause for Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And from me, I'm going to go off and make some molds of Francisco, and that will start getting them darted out around the hospital as well.
I think so. And I think when you've done that, if we could just pop to the Stem Cell Institute, I think we could possibly try growing a few, Francisco, if he doesn't mind. We need more Franciscos around.
Absolutely, definitely.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Good. So very well done, and thank you. Okay, lovely. So could we come to Sophia? Sophia, I can see you hiding. I've got a lot to read out about you, Sophia. Can you give us a big wave so we can all see who you are? Hi. And who's in the room with you, Sophia?
So I've got Lizzie, is my consultant nurse in stroke, and I've got Martha, it's our matron in stroke.
Great. Good. Lovely to see you both. And I can see a You Made a Difference posterette in the background. Could you just hold that up close to the screen so that Francisco can see what he's going to be getting? Francisco, have you had this already, Francisco? You've got yours there as well. Lovely. Great. Good. Good. Okay, lovely. So Sophia, I'm going to say a few things about you, and then I'm going to read out the nomination. And I think, Sophia, you're clearly at the absolute heart of how we're trying to do things better for our patients. Aren't you? That's what you're passionate about. So a few things about you. So you began your role here in September 2019 as a thrombectomy specialist nurse. So just before COVID struck, in fact, or 5 or 6 months before. And your role involves expert clinical assessment of potential stroke or TIA patients who arrive at the hospital. And you have a particular focus on developing and implementing the stroke thrombectomy service. And you also provide leadership and management to the acute stroke nursing team, as well as being the interim lead stroke nurse through the COVID pandemic. And we're told, Sophia, that you're an absolutely outstanding leader and you really inspire the team to continue to develop and improve. You don't just sort of sit down and preside over something. You're constantly trying to make it something better. And you're really focused on providing excellent care to stroke patients and in continuing to look to improve the service in order to benefit our patients. And I'm now going to read out, if I could, a nomination from, or the nomination from one of your colleagues. So this is what was written about you. So Sophia is an exemplary nurse. Her vision and her passion is absolutely palpable. She plays a key role in raising awareness of the value of the stroke team and the services that positively impact patients who've experienced a stroke. She's taking a leading role in establishing CUH stroke units and stroke services as a real centre of excellence. Sophia recently took the initiative to submit a team application to the Institute of Healthcare Improvement for the team project. The application was accepted. The focus of the team project is to improve patient care, improve outcomes, and improve patient experience. The changes and contributions Sophia has made to the team go far above the regular call of her role and responsibilities. We're so lucky to work with her. So Sophia, a huge congratulations, absolutely fantastic. And I think we'll all come off mute and give you a big round of applause. That's really lovely to hear.
I'm a little bit speechless. It was a big surprise when I read the email, and all the feedback from my colleagues were very kind, very heartening. And I'm really proud, and so a big thank you for this initiative from the hospital, because I think it's good for the staff feel this rewarding just about the feedback rather than the poster there. Congratulations to Francisco as well, and D2. I think we are all in the same boat, and I'm really, really honored with this. A big thank you to you all.
Well, really well done. I mean, it's clear you're working extraordinarily hard to look after our patients and work with your team in just the way that we heard about Francisco.
Yeah.
And also, I think, as again we heard with Francisco, you're trying to go the extra mile and push things forward and improve things, and that's really at the heart of what Addenbrooke's is about, isn't it?
I think the difference is when you work in something you are passionate about, and if you have an amazing team that I'm lucky to have, things just work well. You don't get up in the morning and think, oh, I'm going to work, and actually are excited to come and be with everyone else. And even during the pandemic, I think we get stronger and united. So probably was for us the easiest bit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I think you're right, Sophia. I think whilst it's been a very testing and hard time, in many ways it's drawn a lot of us closer together, hasn't it? I can see nodding in the room with you there. Good. And I can see you've already got the poster up, the certificate up, and
Yes.
you should have your badge as well. Have you got your badge?
Well, I'm assuming that's what that is.
I'm having it now.
You're having it now. Would you like to open it and show us? Francisco,
Yeah.
have you got your badge there as well? Your badge. There's a small badge in the bag in the envelope.
Yeah. Let me see.
That's good. And both of you in the envelope should have I think, August, we've got the gift voucher. And yes, there we go. There's the You Made a Difference badge.
Oh, this is really nice.
It's lovely, isn't it? Francisco, let's see your badge.
Yes.
Will you hold it up to the screen for us so we can see it as well?
Where is the screen?
That's good. We can see it. Yeah, lovely. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Good. So well done. Lovely. So Sophia, many congratulations and thank you. Well done. Another round of applause and superb.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Lovely. Thank you. And now we come to the mighty ward D2. Can you just come off mute for a moment and give us a cheer?
Yeah!
That wasn't loud enough, if you don't mind, Ward D2. I couldn't hear you. Let's try it again, please. See if you can break Zoom. It's more like it. It's the Ward D2 that we know and love. I wasn't sure what had happened. Okay. Good, lovely. So great to see you there, and great to see so many of your colleagues as well. So again, I'm going to say a little bit about the ward and what you do, and then I'm going to read out the nomination. Okay. So Ward D2 is a 22-bedded multi-specialty paediatric ward with a team of 50 staff in the nursing and allied healthcare community. And as a ward, you accept children aged from, young, 0, to, whatever just after 0 is, up to the age of 16, with a range of medical and surgical health conditions. And on any given day, if we were to walk on toward D2, we would see you looking after children with acute high dependency needs alongside, which mean they're immediate and there's a real problem right now, through to children who've got really complex long-term life-limiting conditions. And you're looking after that extraordinary range of, children and their families who are dealing with all of those challenges as well. And it's difficult to explain and articulate, I think, isn't it, unless you live and breathe it, what it is that makes D2 such a special place. And we're told that, I think a number of you would quite like to be able to capture, bottle it and then share it around the hospital and indeed the National Health Service. So if you can crack that, that would be really lovely to hear more about. Okay. So how is it, that award is able to look after children and families, often in their darkest times, but still maintain that incredible warmth and spirit? And you could see it. You're looking after children and families at their most vulnerable times, and yet you can break Zoom with your cheering and yelling, and and just I can see it in your eyes. So the only answer that we're told is that this is a formidable team. The D2 Ducks, I'm told, is how you're sort of viewed and how you view yourself. You work tirelessly and courageously to ensure that children and families are looked after in a way that we would wish our own children would be cared for. And your sense of teamwork is unique. And this, we think, stems from working under high levels of pressure and stress, learning to be flexible and adapting your approach to your work all of the time in the way that we heard about with both Francisco and Sophia as well. So people work on D2 because you love the ward, you're proud of it, and I think you feel very privileged to be the ones to nurture our children back to health. And we know that D2 and its demands are bigger than any of you as individuals could deal with, but it's the fact that you come together as a team that makes the D2 ward and the D2 Ducks so special. And together, I think you know that you're stronger, more resilient, and able to deal with what each day throws at you. So does that feel about right as to who you are and what you are? D2
Yep,
Ducks.
absolutely. That's us in a nutshell, for sure.
Good. So we've got you. Well, so this is what was then written about you in terms of the actual nomination. And I think it really reflects what we know, don't we, about you as a community. So this is what was written. So the whole team on Ward D2 have been amazing. They've cared for young people, providing a caring and nurturing environment, preparing and getting them physically and emotionally fit for either onward movement to tier 4 beds and getting well enough to go home or into foster care. They've always been professional and caring, making sure that this vulnerable group do not feel isolated, but they make them feel supported and cared for. I feel so proud of them as a team. And then this is another nomination. So there were 2 for this community. The second one is as follows. Thank you to this amazing team for making a difference to our young patients by giving them a safe haven in times of difficulty, and for making a difference to each other in the team by looking after each other, for making a difference to CUH, and for knowing we can trust them to step up and care for these patients. So many, many congratulations. If we could all just come off mute and give a round of applause, I think that would be wonderful. Well done. Would anyone from the D2 Ducks like to say anything?
Any of you like to say anything? Or should I? Well, we're just such a massive thank you so much. I mean, I think, as you said earlier, to be nominated is, huge in itself, and we never imagined that we would win it. So thank you so much to everyone. And I'd also say that, yeah, I mean, we know D2 is an amazing team, and I'm not quite sure what it is that makes us so just wonderful, but we couldn't do it without everybody's support. And I think over this last year we've just seen support from so many different people as individual and teams, and we're just really, really grateful for it. And I think, as you say, we know that this ward is bigger than any of us, and together we'll keep it great. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for setting that out from the ward perspective. Are there other people who'd like to comment or talk about the team?
Yeah, I'll say something. Hello, my name's Matt. I'm a paediatric staff nurse on D2. I've been here more or less 3 years. I'd just like to say that I got a job here while I was still a third-year student, having completed my sign-off placement. And the reason why I chose to work here was just because of the team ethic, and that's what drew me in. I knew it was going to be a hard job, and you either sink or swim on this ward. That's just how it is, because it's so busy, as you described in the acuity. But I think that the team is what drew me in, and it's still keeping me here. So, cheers.
Thanks, Matt.
Really lovely to hear, and I mean, terrific to hear that you leapt into that ward and that opportunity, knowing it would be hard, but knowing that the team would be there to support you, and that you would, as it sounds like you have done, had a very fulfilling and enriching time.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a lot of people do jobs that they don't touch them and they don't give them anything back, do they? And they may have lots of money or lots of this or lots of that, but it sounds like it's been a positive experience for you in terms of your life.
Absolutely, definitely. I think there's quite a lot of people came from my cohort at university as well, and we're all still here, and we're all here keeping each other here, as well as everybody else. The connection with the rest of the team is great. So it's about the team. Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
Mike's my boss. You see, but he can see I'm getting excited about seeing if I could join the D2 Ducks now. So maybe he'd be delighted. I don't know. No, but it's great, isn't it? Other colleagues want to comment on Ward D2? Yeah, Tara.
I thought Amanda's going to go. No, I think for me as well, it's to say thank you for everyone. I walk onto that ward, but I know how tough it is, around the service, and there's always positivity, a smile. They advocate for their parents, their patients, their parents. They fight the cause, and I think they are an absolute credit to the hospital. They are absolutely amazing, and an absolute pleasure to work with them.
Thank you, Tara.
I mean, I can't.
Maybe later.
I mean, all I can do is echo what everything said. I mean, you are an amazing team, but I can guarantee you, Roland, they won't share those cakes with anybody. They'll be behind those doors. Oh, that's great. I didn't get one, but that's fine. I'm not sensitive. But thank you very much. I know it's been a really tough year, and, there's been a lot of challenges for the team. And Shree's on here, who's been incredibly supportive to the team as well. So thank you very much.
So who did you say is here? Shree, did you say?
I'm here, Roland. I'm Shree here. I'm one of the
yes. Hello.
child psychiatrists. Hello.
Hi,
I just wanted to echo everything that people have said. And I think as a child psychiatrist, I well up. There are times when I go onto the ward and I well up because of the compassion, the kindness that the team show towards the most vulnerable children at a time when they need it the most. They are such a wonderful team to work with. And they are so amazing in their skills, their knowledge, their patience, and their reflectiveness with which they look after not only children, but also families. And it's such a pleasure to be part of such an amazing team. It's such a well-deserved award. Thank you, D2.
Well, thank you. Thank you,
Shree. Thank you. Can I just say as well, Shree, we just have so much genuine love and warmth for you. Where would we be without you, Shree? Thank you.
Well, it's lovely to hear you say that, Shree. And Shree, in your experience, if you look at this community, this team, what do you have any feel as to how it is that this team works in this way? What is it that brings them together? What do you think it is?
What I find really amazing is how they care about each other, Roland. I think it's a true community. They do. There are days which are really tough. But what is amazing is that they share the burden of care with each other, and they make sure that they look after each other. And I think it's the passion that they bring for the job that they do. And it's such a pleasure to see how incredible they are. Even we've nursed, and they've nursed some really vulnerable children over the last year with significant needs, especially mental health, emotional health needs. And I think there have been times when I've seen staff in tears because of what the families are going through, but they bounce back so incredibly well, and they rely on each other to give them that strength to keep going, which is so wonderful to see.
Yes, Sri, I mean, that's really very moving to hear, isn't it? And it echoes, I think, what we heard from Francisco and from Sophia. And I'm looking at you, that sense of being in a team and looking after each other. If you're trying to do your best, Francisco, as you were saying, as we're hearing about from the D2 team, and if you're reaching out to the people around you and helping you, that lets us do things in an extraordinary way, doesn't it, Sophia and Francisco and everyone on D2? Does that feel about right? If we look left and right and behind us and help people, we can do better things, can't we? Does that resonate for you, Francisco and Sophia? Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Good. Well, lovely. Well, really powerful to hear, and very well done to the D2 team. And I'm feeling slightly upset about the cakes. One of the big tragedies for me of COVID has been no cake, because of no face-to-face You Made a Difference awards. But I hope you'll enjoy the cake, and it's great to see that you've got the poster there and the certificate. And also somewhere in an envelope, I think with you, there's a gift voucher, which I hope you'll use for something for the team when the moment comes. And whether that's a getting together or some sort of item for the community is something I'll leave with you. And I'm sure, given that team spirit, you'll be able to align on something very, very quickly. Some teams, it can be a bit of a squabble, but I think for you, it'll be an easy thing to land.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well done. Good, lovely. I mean, Mike and August, I think a huge well done to Francisco, to Sophia, and to the D2 team. Is there anything, Mike, you'd like to add before we draw to a close?
No, just to say it's been terrific as ever, and it's a real thanks. And actually, one element of the team bit, if I can just add one bit for D2. I remember it'd be about 3 years ago, I guess. I'm getting to the age where I can no longer quite remember when things were, so sorry, but it'd be about 3 years ago. And you had in D2 a little boy who'd had a trauma injury in his head, and I met him and his family. He'd come from Saffron Walden, and he'd been run over by a car in his driveway, I think. And his family were just so lovely. And he had the biggest smile as a kid that you could imagine. I'm not going to name him. I remember his name, but I won't name him. And I remember his mum and dad and his sister saying how much you made them feel welcome as part of the support to him. And so the team is a sense, it's not just you as a sort of insular team looking after each other. You brought the parents and the family into that, and that was really important. So I think that's an important element to reflect on in terms of a paediatric ward, because actually that that principle that they are included in that, and it was really moving to hear that family talk, and they were such a lovely family, and they were so appreciative of what you'd done and how you'd brought them in. So I just wanted to add that particular recollection.
Good. Well, lovely. Thank you, Mike. And I think that really resonates, doesn't it, in terms of D2, and indeed what we've heard from Sophia and Francisco. Good. So it would be lovely to carry on chatting, and I would love to be getting my hands on some of that cake, and another time that will happen. But in the meantime, a huge well done again. If we just come off mute, give yourselves a huge round of applause. and then we'll draw to a close. So well done and thank you. Good. Lovely. Enjoy the rest of your day. Get out and enjoy the sun, and look forward to seeing you all around the hospital at some point soon. Thanks so much and well done and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.